Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be covering the Starstone because I've been browsing Reddit and ended up seeing some people a little bit confused on how a tiny little rock can actually give people enough power to ascend to divinity. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. It actually gives them the ability to ascend to demigod status, where the same rules as divinity applies to them. So, let's go ahead and get right into this. Now, what is the Starstone? Some of you guys might be asking that. It is a unique gemstone meteorite that was part of a massive meteor that shattered and struck Glorian in 5293. And this event, for those of you who are up on the lore or who have played Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, would know is named Earthfall. And it led to the destruction of quite a bit of places. But it also ended up creating the Inner Sea and set society back pretty far, to be honest, ushering in what is also known in the lore as the Age of Darkness. Now, one of the ancient empires that was actually taken down was the Islanti Empire, and it was the first human civilization on the face of Glorian. It was raised from barbarianism by the alien Algoluthis during the Age of Legend, and eventually they developed a level of technology and magic and civilization the likes of which has not been seen on the planet since they climbed to power. But this advancement caused their people to become very arrogant and proud, and they felt like they no longer needed to respect the aliens that brought them up to where they currently are. Now, this angered these particular creatures, and in retribution, they used their magic to call down an ancient poisonous remnant of an unborn planet to destroy all life on Glorian. Now, luckily, while they did abandon their alien benefactors, they were not without their own protectors. They had a few gods, some of which were Asavana, the goddess of the moon and battle, and there is also Amazen, who I believe is the Islanti god of magic. And, well, when Asavana learned about their plans, the aliens' plans that is, she pulled the planet's moon, the Glorian's moon, from its orbit to intercept the massive fragment of the planet. Now, when this impacted, it shattered the moon completely, and also shattered the meteorite into basically smaller projectiles that technically would still kind of be a world killer, but it wasn't going to be as bad of a world killer. Sadly, during this whole thing, it inflicted lethal wounds upon the goddess's physical manifestation, which ended up killing her. Now, this is where Amazen comes in, and distraught by her death, he actually ended up sacrificing himself to render the remaining deadly magic that clung to the meteor fragments from hitting the moon, and transformed all of those fragments from a world killer into an incredibly destructive force, but he still gave Glorian a chance to survive. When it impacted with all the fragments, it obliterated the continent of Islant and plunged the world into an age of darkness. But thanks to Asavana and Amazen, they did not destroy all life on planet like the aliens had hoped. Now, that particular story has been passed down over ancient rumors and generations when telling about how the Starstone came to be. After about 5,000 years after the destruction of the continent, Aerodin, who was still immortal at the time, was called to the Inner Sea, where the heart of the ancient weapon still lie. It erupted from the waves and entered the massive island, topped by a unique gem made of celestial materials. The alien magic, the blood of the goddess Azavan, and the scar tissue of the planet itself make up the entirety of the Starstone. So that right there answers a lot of questions, really. That explains why anybody who takes the test of Starstone is able to ascend essentially to godhood. And that is because there is a lot of very powerful alien magic mixed in with the blood of an actual god and celestial materials as well. And you have a recipe for a very powerful magical artifact that can grant godhood. Now, Arodin ended up using his own magic to keep it from ever being misused again, and in response, the gods themselves elevated him to become one of them. So, Arodin himself, that's another story. It'll have to be something that's told in another video, but he was actually elevated by other gods to godhood status, not by the Starstone. But the Starstone did play a part in his ascension. And ever since that time, the Starstone has sat in the largest cathedral, the Ascendant Court, and it's a place where anybody can take the test of the Starstone to attempt the ascension to godhood. And in the ages since its existence, only 4 individuals have been known to actually pass, and that is Arodin, Sedan Selene, Iomade, and Norgbur. All 4 of them have essentially taken the test of the Starstone and been proven worthy and used it to gain their godhood. Now, as for the test itself, the test is a test that anybody can take, and the main goal of it is to literally just reach the Starstone itself, which is at the center of Absalom, surrounded by a large, deadly maze containing just a ton of traps, guardians, and wards. The exact nature of the obstacles in this course actually change as time goes on, but a few consistent hazards include magic not working right, and the prevention of extra-dimensional movement, so you can't use like dimensional door, teleportation, and things like that. There are a few who have passed to become demigods, and that would be Iomade, Siddle Slane, and Norgbur. It's hard to pronounce some of these names. Norgbur. There we go. And some of them have funnier stories than other, like Saden Selene. I'm butchering names, I'm sorry. But he took it while drunk on a bet. So, yeah, that was pretty hilarious. So he's actually known as the Accidental God because of that. But there are many who attempt to take it. Most die. Only a few have succeeded. But there are even fewer who have managed to actually escape the maze without becoming a demigod. And it has brought them incredible wealth and power. In its own right, well, not on the level of a god, they do end up getting incredible wealth because they were able to go into the test of the Starstone and come out alive. Now, it's an insanely, lore-packed thing, and incredible how much lore they put into it. And that is the Starstone. That is also part of why in Wrath of the Righteous, Nocticula comments saying that Iomade is an imposter goddess or a fake goddess because she got her power from the Starstone and not from actually obtaining it herself. So, with that in mind, that has been pretty much all the information I could gather up and put into a small video on the Starstone. I hope this helps you, and if you have any questions about it, or anything that you would like to see done next, as far as lore and discussion on Pathfinder, go ahead and put it down in the comments below, and we'll take a look at it, and if we can get a good feel for how it works and we know a good chunk about it, we will let you know. Hopefully coming up in the future we will have information on all of the gods, more than what you get in game, to kind of help you choose and decide what god best suits you when you're making a character. So that's a thing that's coming up, and with that, as always, I'll see you in the next video, and happy pathfinding.